Fear before the fight is the first battle a champion ever faces. Long before fists fly, long before sweat drips under the lights, fear is already there waiting. It creeps into the locker room. It whispers in the silence when the gloves are laced up. It pounds in the chest louder than any drum. You see, fear isn't polite. It doesn't wait until you're ready. It barges in the night before, the morning of the moment your name is called. It stares at you in the mirror and says, "You can't win." And right there, before you ever step into the ring, the real fight begins. Most people think champions don't feel fear. They believe legends are born fearless, carved out of stone. But the truth is, fear visits everyone. The difference is what you do with it. Some men let fear tie their hands before they even throw a punch. They crumble under its weight, letting the nerves eat them alive. But a true fighter learns to welcome fear, to shake its hand, to say, "You will not beat me. You will feed me." A fear before the fight is like a storm in the distance. You see the clouds building, you hear the thunder, and your body prepares for impact. Your heart races, your mind spins, your legs want to run. But the champion doesn't run. The champion digs in. The champion uses that storm as energy. Fear, when owned, is not a chain but a current of electricity. It sharpens the senses. It wakes the spirit. It reminds the fighter that the challenge is real. The opponent is dangerous, and the stakes are high. In that moment before the fight, fear has two roads. One road leads to panic, hesitation, defeat. The other road leads to fire, determination, greatness. It is a choice. Fear will whisper doubts, but it will also hand you the keys to your own power. Fear says you are not ready, and that voice forces you to prepare harder. Fear says you might lose, and that warning drives you to fight like your life depends on it. Standing there, waiting for the bell, fear is in the air like smoke. Your body feels heavier. You're breathing shorter. But the mind decides what happens next. The fighter who understands this transforms that nervous energy into fuel. That pounding heart becomes rhythm. That tight chest becomes drive. That trembling hand becomes a weapon. The very thing that could break you becomes the thing that makes you unstoppable. Fear before the fight is not weakness. It is proof of humanity. It is the body's way of saying, "This matters." If nothing was at stake, there would be no fear. If victory didn't mean everything, there would be no nerves. Fear is the price you pay for greatness. And the one who pays it with pride, with courage, with relentless will, earns the reward that comes after. The roar of the crowd, the glory of victory, the taste of destiny. So when fear shows up before your fight, don't curse it. Don't hide from it. Don't let it sit on your shoulders like a burden. Stand taller. Breathe deeper. Thank it. Because fear before the fight means you are exactly where you're supposed to be, standing on the edge of greatness, one step away from proving the world wrong. Owning the nerves is what separates the ones who fold under pressure from the ones who rise and write their names in history. Every fighter feels it. The shaking hands, the racing heartbeat, the restless mind that won't sit still. The nerves creep in when the crowd is loud, when the spotlight hits, when the moment of truth grows closer. For many, those nerves feel like weakness. They say, "I shouldn't feel this way. I should be calm." But the truth is, nerves are not weakness, they are raw energy. And energy, if you know how to control it, can turn into unstoppable power. When the body trembles, it means you are alive. When the heart pounds, it means you are ready. That nervous fire is your spirit preparing for battle. Too many people run from it. They try to hide, to numb it, to pretend it's not there. But champions don't hide from nerves. They own them. They grab that nervous fire, hold it close, and turn it into fuel. That's why when the bell rings, they don't freeze, they explode. Think about it, those butterflies in your stomach, that knot in your throat, that sweat on your brow. It is your body telling you this moment matters. It is your body loading up with adrenaline, preparing you to move faster, think sharper, hit harder. If you tell yourself those nerves are weakness, they will crush you. If you tell yourself those nerves are fuel, they will carry you through the storm. The same nerves that break another man can build you into a warrior. Owning the nerves means standing tall in the face of chaos. It means saying, "Yes, I feel the pressure. Yes, I feel the weight. But it will not drown me. It will lift me." Every second of nervous energy becomes a tool in the hands of the one who accepts it. The trembling becomes focus. The pounding heart becomes rhythm. The restless mind becomes strategy. When you walk into the ring or into any fight in life, you can't expect silence inside you. You can't expect calm seas. Greatness lives in the storm, and the storm lives inside you. The question is, do you let it toss you around, or do you learn to ride the waves? The champion learns to surf the chaos, to ride the lightning inside his chest, to let the storm carry him to shore. Nerves are not your enemy. They are your ally. They are the proof that you care, that you are alive, that you are stepping into something bigger than yourself. Only the dead feel nothing. The living feel nerves. The greats turn them into fire. So the next time nerves shake you before your fight, don't curse them. Don't push them away. Own them. Hold them. Tell yourself, this is not weakness. This is my power waking up. Use that nervous energy to sharpen your focus, to drive your will, to fuel your fight. Because in the end, nerves are not the sign of fear. They are the birth of courage, and the one who owns them will always rise above the one who runs from them. Training with fear is where greatness is forged long before the crowd ever sees the fighter step into the ring. People watch the victory and think it was talent, think it was destiny, think it was some gift handed down from the sky. But they don't see the mornings when it was still dark outside and the streets were empty. They don't see the sweat dripping in silence, the lungs burning on those lonely runs, the hours in the gym when nobody was clapping, nobody was cheering, nobody was watching. What drove all of that? Fear. Fear of losing. Fear of being unprepared. Fear of stepping into the spotlight and not being ready when the world was watching. That fear was not weakness. It was fire. It whispered in my ear every morning, if you don't work harder than the man across from you, he will take everything from you. That voice didn't make me hide. It made me run. It made me push. It made me grind until the muscles screamed and the body begged for rest. Fear is what dragged me out of bed when comfort tried to keep me down. Every drop of sweat was fear transformed. Fear said, he might be faster, so I trained to be faster. Fear said, he might hit harder, so I trained to hit harder. Fear said, he might outlast you, so I trained to endure more. Every doubt became a reason to prepare. Every whisper of failure became a reason to sharpen my weapons. Without fear, training would have been half-hearted. Without fear, discipline would have faded. Without fear, the hunger would not have burned so hot. Fear was the coach that never left my side. It stood over me when I felt like stopping and said, not yet, keep going. It was the voice that didn't allow excuses, didn't accept laziness, didn't forgive shortcuts. Fear was the fuel behind discipline. It kept me honest. It kept me humbled. It kept me working like I was still the underdog, even when I was on top of the world. People think champions are built on confidence alone, but confidence without fear is arrogance. And arrogance is the death of discipline. The fighter who thinks he cannot lose will stop training like he can. The fighter who knows he can lose, who feels that fear deep in his chest, he trains like his life depends on it. And that's why he wins. Training with fear is not about being scared. It is about being awake. It is about respecting the fight, respecting the opponent, respecting the dream you're chasing. Fear reminds you that nothing is guaranteed, that victory must be earned again and again. And that reminder is what drives you back into the gym when your body wants to quit. That reminder is what forces you to put in the extra rounds, the extra miles, the extra hours. So when fear whispers to you while you train, don't silence it. Listen to it. Let it push you. Let it light a fire under you. Fear is not a chain to drag you down. Fear is the reason you lace up your shoes before dawn, the reason you push through pain, the reason you prepare like tomorrow could be your last fight. Fear is the invisible weight on your back that makes you stronger with every step. The truth is simple champions are not made in the ring. They are made in the dark, when fear is the only companion and discipline is the only weapon. And the one who learns to train with fear as fuel will always walk into the fight ready, sharp and unstoppable. When the lights come on and the crowd roars, that is the moment fear shows up in its loudest form. The ring is a stage, but it's not built for actors, it's built for warriors. You stand there, heart pounding, sweat dripping, and the whole world watching. That's when fear tries to crawl up your spine, tries to shake your knees, tries to whisper that maybe you're not ready, maybe you can't win. Maybe the man across from you has your number. But that's also the moment when you choose, let fear break you or let fear make you. Fear inside the ring is not a weakness. It's an energy, raw and electric, that can either consume you or be channeled into power. Some fighters freeze under the pressure. Their legs feel heavy, their punches lose their sting, their mind clouds over. But the great ones don't let fear paralyze them, they let it sharpen them. Fear makes the senses sharper, the reflexes quicker, the mind clearer. It turns every nerve into a live wire, every heartbeat into a drum pushing you forward. That fear doesn't shrink you, it wakes you up. When I stood in front of an opponent, I never denied fear, I welcomed it. I looked it in the eye and said, "You're coming with me, but you're not in charge." I am. Fear is fuel when you learn to control it. It's like fire. Leave it loose and it burns everything down. But master it and it cooks your food, warms your body, lights your path. Inside the ring, fear became that fire, burning away hesitation, burning away doubt, burning away any weakness that tried to cling to me. The pressure of the fight, the noise of the crowd, the weight of expectation, it all tries to crush a man. But pressure is the same thing that makes diamonds. Without that crushing force, coal stays coal forever. With it, it transforms into something unbreakable. The ring was my furnace, and fear was the heat that hardened me. Every punch thrown at me, every round that tested my lungs, every stare from the man across the canvas, it all added to the fire. And in that fire, power was born. There's a secret most don't understand. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is stepping forward while fear is screaming in your ear. Courage is throwing your hands up, moving forward, attacking, even while the storm rages inside you. In the ring, fear never disappears. But when you embrace it, it stops being an enemy and becomes your greatest ally. It keeps you alert. It keeps you humble. It makes sure you never underestimate the danger in front of you. And that respect, that awareness is what keeps you alive, sharp, and victorious. Think about it. Without fear, you get careless. Without fear, you drop your guard. Without fear, you take punches you should have dodged. But with fear guiding you, your eyes stay wide, your feet stay moving, your guard stays high. Fear makes you respect every punch that could end the fight. And because you respect it, you avoid it. You counter it. You dominate it. In the ring, fear is pressure. Pressure is weight, but that weight is not meant to bury you. It's meant to build you. The difference between those who crumble and those who conquer is simple. Some let the weight crush their spirit, while others use that weight to grow stronger, faster, tougher. Every round you survive under that pressure, every moment you keep fighting when fear tells you to quit is proof that you're not just surviving, you're transforming. So when the bell rings and fear shows its face, don't run from it. Step into it. Feel it. Let it surge through your veins and make you faster, smarter, more alive than ever before. Pressure doesn't have to crush you. It can crown you. Fear doesn't have to weaken you. It can weaponize you. And the fighter who learns to turn pressure into power will never just fight. He will dominate. Fear has always been the greatest teacher, the one that never lets you get lazy, the one that forces you to respect the fight, the opponent and yourself. Without fear, there is arrogance. Without fear, there is carelessness. Without fear, discipline fades and respect disappears. But with fear as a teacher, every step you take, every punch you throw, every round you fight carries meaning. Fear taught me discipline long before the lights ever hit my face. That whisper in my head said, if you cut corners today, you'll pay for it tomorrow. Fear reminded me that the man on the other side of the ring was training too, sweating too, grinding too. If I wanted to beat him, I couldn't afford to relax when he was pushing. Fear is what made me keep my diet strict, my runs early, my nights short, and my focus sharp. It was the invisible coach that demanded respect for the process. Discipline is not just about the body, it's about the mind. And fear is the reason the mind stays sharp. Without fear, the mind drifts into comfort, into pride, into thinking the job is already done. But fear shakes you awake. It says, the fight hasn't started yet. You're not safe yet. Keep working. That's how discipline is born, not from comfort, but from the awareness that comfort can kill dreams. Fear makes you understand that every weakness you ignore will be exposed. Every shortcut you take will be punished. Every ounce of laziness will cost you when it matters most. Fear also teaches respect. Respect for the fight itself. Respect for the craft. Respect for every man who dares to step into that ring, because fear tells you the truth. No opponent is ever small, no battle is ever easy, no round is ever guaranteed. The moment you stop respecting the fight, you've already lost. Fear makes sure you never forget that one mistake can cost you everything. That respect keeps you humble, keeps you sharp, keeps you dangerous. I never looked at fear as an enemy. I looked at it as a teacher. Every time fear showed up, I knew there was something to learn. It taught me to respect training, because without it, fear would eat me alive. It taught me to respect opponents, because they were fighting for their lives just like me. It taught me to respect myself, because if I didn't prepare with discipline, I wouldn't deserve the victory I was chasing. Fear kept me honest. You can lie to the crowd, you can lie to reporters, you can even lie to yourself, but you can't lie to fear. Fear knows if you skipped a run. Fear knows if you cut your training short. Fear knows if you didn't give everything. And it will remind you of that truth right before the bell rings. That's why discipline becomes non-negotiable. That's why respect becomes essential. Fear doesn't allow frauds to survive. And here's the beauty. Once you accept fear as a teacher, it stops being something that breaks you and starts being something that builds you. It shapes your character. It builds your toughness. It forces you to grow in ways that comfort never could. The man who avoids fear will stay weak. The man who listens to fear, who learns from it, who respects its lessons, he becomes unstoppable. So let fear guide you. Let it remind you to stay disciplined when you feel like giving in. Let it remind you to respect the path, the process, and the people who walk it with you. Fear is not here to humiliate you. It's here to elevate you. And if you let it, fear will teach you how to walk into the fight not only as a fighter, but as a warrior who is ready, prepared, disciplined, and unshakable. Defeat is a word every fighter dreads, but it is also the word that teaches the deepest lessons. No man who ever stepped into the ring escaped without scars, without setbacks, without moments where the world seemed to collapse on his shoulders. Losing is painful. It cuts deeper than any punch. It echoes louder than any crowd. But here's the truth. Fear of defeat is not something to run from. It's something to rise through. Fear is the fire that forges the comeback spirit, and without it, greatness could never be written. When you fall, fear is the first thing that greets you. It whispers in your ear, maybe you're finished. Maybe you don't have it anymore. Maybe the critics were right. That fear of being broken forever can crush a man. But it can also wake him up. The greatest comebacks are born not in the moment of victory, but in the silence after defeat, when a man chooses whether to listen to fear as a curse or use it as fuel. Fear of losing again drove me harder than the dream of winning ever did. It pulled me out of bed when pride alone would have kept me down. It told me, you tasted the canvas, now what are you going to do about it? And the answer was simple: rise stronger. Fear became the reason I doubled my training, the reason I sharpened every skill, the reason I rebuilt myself into a fighter who could not only win again, but win in a way that silenced every doubt. Comebacks aren't made of talent. They're made of fear channeled into determination. They're made of nights where pain keeps you awake, but you still get up to work. They're made of mornings when your body aches, but you lace up your shoes anyway. They're made of the memory of defeat burning in your chest so strongly that you swear you will never feel that taste again. That's what fear gives you. The hunger to return, not as the same man, but as a better one. Respect the role of fear in every comeback. It reminds you of your humanity. It strips away arrogance. It forces you to see your weaknesses clearly and face them honestly. And in that honesty, strength is reborn. A man who has never tasted fear cannot know courage. A man who has never fallen cannot know what it means to rise. Every comeback story that inspires the world is built on fear that was faced, not avoided. And let me tell you this, when you rise after defeat, with fear still in your veins, but discipline in your heart, you become untouchable. Because you are no longer fighting just to win. You are fighting never to be broken again. The crowd sees the knockout. They see the hand raised. But what they don't see is the battle against fear that was fought and won long before the lights came on again. Fear and the comeback spirit are inseparable. Fear is the reminder of what failure feels like, and the comeback spirit is the refusal to let that be the ending. Together, they make a man unstoppable. The fighter who embraces fear after defeat, who studies it, who uses it, becomes a warrior reborn, sharper, hungrier, tougher than ever before. So when you fall, and you will, don't curse fear. Don't run from it. Let it sting, let it burn. Then let it build you. Let it become the reason you come back swinging harder, standing taller, moving faster. Let fear fuel the comeback until the same crowd that once doubted you rises to their feet in awe. Because true greatness is not written in the easy victories. True greatness is written in the moments when fear stood in front of you after defeat, and you rose anyway.